All right, so let's dive into something I bet you're already thinking about on your way to the office, or maybe even running a company, or even just like shaping the workforce. RFPs.
Yeah.
They may not sound super exciting, but stick with us for this deep dive because I think it's going to be a real game changer.
Oh, absolutely. RFPs, those requests for proposal, and RFIs, those are the requests for information. I mean, they're often seen as like these just kind of tedious hurdles that you have to get over, but they're really like the key to unlocking some huge growth opportunities.
For sure. For sure. Today we're breaking down this article by a real proposal expert who's seen the whole, RFP process evolve over time. And what they say is really fascinating. They talk about these cutting edge trends that are totally changing how companies are approaching RFPs.
Yeah, it's not just about submitting proposals anymore. It's about using those proposals to really position your company strategically for success.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. The article starts by painting a picture that I think a lot of you are going to relate to. It talks about how the traditional RFP process can feel like this chaotic last-minute scramble.
Oh, yeah. Think about it. You're pulling in experts from all these different departments. You're trying to gather the right information, and the deadlines are always breathing down your neck. It can feel like you're just constantly putting out fires.
Totally. And the source points out that this frantic approach is a big reason why companies have these, kind of low win rates. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation that's shaky.
Exactly. And that's really where these new trends come in. They offer a way to shift from that reactive mode to something way more proactive and strategic.
All right. So trend number one, AI and automation. I know what you might be thinking. AI, is it going to take over our jobs?
Not quite. It's more like this powerful tool that can free up your team to focus on what they do best.
Yeah. And the article highlights companies like responsive.io and inventive.ai that are using AI to automate tasks like data entry and compliance checks. That means your team can spend less time on that tedious admin work and more time on crafting winning strategies.
I mean, imagine this. You're working on an RFP response, and instead of spending hours searching for the right data or case studies, you have this AI assistant that just instantly pulls up the most relevant information.
Right. Talk about a time saver. The article even mentions that inventive.ai says their AI can draft responses 10 times faster. So instead of weeks, you're talking days to get a response out the door. Think about the competitive advantage that gives you.
Speed is so essential, but AI can also really boost your accuracy. It helps make sure that your messaging and terminology are consistent, which is super critical when you're dealing with these complex proposals.
And let's not forget about RFP.ai. They're using AI to personalize your RFP responses with just a few clicks. That means you can tailor each proposal to the specific needs of the client. That's huge for increasing your chances of winning the bid.
Yeah, it's all about working smarter, not harder. AI helps you optimize your efforts and really maximize your impact.
Okay, so AI is streamlining the process, but there's another crucial piece to this puzzle data. Trend number 2 is all about data-driven decision-making, and this is where strategy really comes into play.
Yeah, it's no longer enough to just write a well-crafted proposal. You need to understand the competitive landscape your clients needs and even your own strengths and weaknesses.
It's like playing chess. You got to anticipate your opponent's moves and make strategic decisions based on the information that you have.
Yeah, and the article mentions companies using data analytics to track their win rates, analyze competitor pricing, and even uncover client preferences. This lets you move beyond just guesswork and make way more informed decisions.
The source even gives this example of a company that realized they were consistently losing bids because their pricing was out of sync with a specific market segment. So by analyzing their data, they were able to find this blind spot and adjust their strategy.
Right, and that's the power of data. It helps you identify areas for improvement and make targeted adjustments to up your chances of winning. And companies like Zycus provide tools specifically designed to gather and analyze this kind of data, giving you a real edge over the competition.
Okay, so we've got AI helping us create better proposals and data guiding our strategy. But there's another critical element for success, and that's collaboration.
Oh, absolutely. RFPs often involve multiple stakeholders. Subject matter experts, writers, editors, reviewers. Trying to coordinate everyone and ensure consistency can be a real logistical nightmare.
It's tough, right? Keeping everyone on the same page and avoiding those version control issues can be a real headache.
Ugh, tell me about it. That's where AI can really help again. Trend number 3 is all about enhanced stakeholder collaboration, and it's kind of revolutionizing the way teams are working together on these RFPs.
The article talks about platforms like Loopio and responsive.io and how they basically act as these centralized knowledge hubs. So everyone involved in the RFP process can get to approved content, collaborate in real time, and track progress.
So you're saying it's like this virtual war room where everyone can work together seamlessly, and you can finally get rid of those endless email chains and the back and forth edits.
Exactly. And it gets even better. AI can automate workflows, assigning tasks to the right experts based on their skills and experience.
Yeah.
So you're not just saving time, you're also making sure that the most qualified people are working on each section.
Right. And then there's the whole quality control thing. AI-powered editing tools like the ones from Zycus can flag inconsistencies, outdated information, missing elements, all in real time.
So it's like having this extra set of eyes, but with the precision and speed of a computer, which means your proposals are always going to be polished and error-free.
It's about giving your team the power to work smarter, faster, and more collaboratively.
Okay, so we've seen how AI and data are totally transforming the RFP process. But there's another trend popping up, and it's a big one. Trend number 4 is the whole integration of sustainability and social impact.
This is where RFPs are starting to really reflect the changing values and priorities of the business world.
It's not just about technical specs and, bottom line costs anymore. Clients want partners who are aligned with their values and who are committed to environmental and social responsibility.
The article highlights this case where a tech supplier lost a huge contract because their proposal didn't have a clear sustainability strategy. Their competitor actually showcased their commitment to carbon neutrality and ethical sourcing, and that really resonated with the client.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, people buy from people they like and trust. But this is like on a corporate level. Clients want to work with companies that share their vision for a better world.
Right, and it's not just about good intentions. It's becoming a real business imperative. Governments and corporations are setting stricter ESG mandates, environmental, social, and governance, and that's filtering down to the RFP process.
So basically, if you want to win those big contracts, you got to have your ESG game on point.
For sure. The article gives this great example of a logistics company that won a major deal because they showed that their whole fleet ran on renewable energy. That aligned perfectly with the client's net zero emissions goal.
That's such a good example of how sustainability can be a real competitive advantage. And it's not just about the environment. Diversity and inclusion are also becoming key factors in these RFP evaluations.
Absolutely. Clients are looking for partners who are committed to diversity, in their workforce leadership and supply chain. They want to see that you're actually walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah, it's about building a more inclusive and equitable business world, and RFPs are becoming this powerful tool to drive that change.
The message is pretty clear. Companies need to incorporate these elements into their RFP responses, or they risk being left behind.
So we've covered 4 major trends that are totally reshaping the RFP landscape. AI and automation data-driven decision-making, enhanced stakeholder collaboration, and the integration of sustainability and social impact. It's obvious that the game is changing and companies have to adapt if they want to stay ahead of the curve. But what does this all actually mean for you, our listeners?
That's the million-dollar question, right? If you connect this to the bigger picture, it means C-suite executives need to be aware of these trends and make those strategic investments in the right tools and technologies. It's about future-proofing your business and making sure you have the resources to stay competitive.
And for those of you in HR, it's about making sure your company has the talent and expertise to use these new technologies and create a culture of collaboration and innovation. It's about attracting and keeping the best people who can handle this constantly evolving landscape.
And for anyone involved in RFPs, even at like a high level, you have to understand that the old ways of doing things just aren't enough anymore. The bar is higher now, and you need to be ready to step up your game.
Yeah, it's not just about keeping up. It's about taking advantage of these opportunities to create a more efficient, effective, and impactful RFP process.
Oh.
So thinking about all these trends, what steps can your company take to modernize its approach and start winning more business?
Yeah. It's really interesting how RFPs have gone from this like tactical thing to a strategic way of showing a company's values and vision.
Yeah, for sure. It's not just about checking off boxes for tech specs and pricing anymore. It's a way for companies to really prove they're committed to sustainability, diversity, ethical practices, the whole package.
And the companies that are really on top of these trends, the ones putting money into AI, using data making collaboration priority, Those are the ones that are going to stand out.
Definitely. They're not just winning more bids, they're building these stronger partnerships and creating a future that's more sustainable and impactful for their business and for the world.
It's a win-win for everyone.
We'd love to hear from you, our listeners. What are your biggest RFP challenges? Have you tried any of these new approaches in your companies? Share your experiences, your pain points, your success stories. Let's keep this conversation going, because the future of RFPs is already here and it's full of possibilities.
Absolutely. Let's learn from each other and figure out this new world together.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep winning.